Undirected Team, we got another one. You seen the title, you seen the thumbnail, and we got to get into it. We have to follow up. We actually did a video on Rachel Lindsay about 3 to 4 weeks ago. I will link that in the description if you want to go back. That was a long form video, almost 2 hours, where we broke down an interview that she had where she spoke about her divorce and many other things within her life. And that was a very interesting one. So if you want to go back and preference that, you can. Real quick before we get to it, the big four: like, share, comment, subscribe. I got links down below if you want to support. As this platform gets better, we get better collectively as a team. We're only as good as the person on our left and the person on our right. I appreciate y'all, team. A lot more than Rachel or Brian appreciates each other at this point in their lives, going through a messy divorce. And we're about to get into it right now and see what's going on. Let's start out, because we have a couple different things we have to look at. Well, more than a couple, probably about 6. And the first one is going to be the money. Bachelorette Rachel Lindsay, Brian Abasolo, I believe is how you pronounce it, needs more than $10K a month in alimony for their divorce. And we're going to talk a little bit more about how the divorce even came about. I think that's very interesting. We're actually going to look at a video between these two that is quite awkward. And that's going to be one of the things where you can kind of see the writing on the wall. And this is just before they actually announced their divorce publicly. So we're going to get to that in a little bit as well. But first, let's just look at what is going on as far as what Brian needs. Brian needs it. Because Rachel's saying, hey, I'll give you just under $10K a month in alimony. And I don't know how long this goes on. I don't know if it's indefinitely. I don't know if it's a year, 2 years. That is not disclosed at this point. If you do have that information, put it down in the comments so we can get additional context and information of what is going on between these two, because it's very interesting. I actually like Rachel, and I don't know much about Brian, but we're just going to look at this objectively and see what's going on. Now, right now, Brian is saying that he's going to need just over $16K in spousal support. So he's going to need an extra $6,000 to support himself. Brian says all the profits from his chiropractor business are going towards bills, car insurance, food, entertainment. Brian needs to be entertained. He needs to be entertained. What are you doing, Brian, for your entertainment? Are you going to the strip club? You taking Rachel's extra $6K so you can go to the strip club, get a Red Bull. You know, they make you get 2 drinks when you go in there. You gotta get a Red Bull. Maybe you get like a vodka Sprite. Then you go in there with your big stack of ones. Bring a K in there. Throw a couple of ones for the strippers, because you don't got no wife no more, so you can go to the strip club now. Let's see. And the money Rachel's offering just ain't enough for him to maintain their marital standard of living. Rachel introduced him to a life that he has never had. And now he wants to continue that life post-Rachel. But here's the problem. Brian was the one that filed for divorce. Now, that doesn't mean that he's wrong yet. And we're going to look into that a little bit more. When we get to this video, you're going to realize exactly what's going on. And we're going to break this down. Now, what did I do? Where'd everything go? Oh, I don't want to do that. Okay, we got it back. We got it back. Fixing the plane while flying it. I love it. All right, so Rachel was not blindsided when he filed for divorce in January. As she claims in her latest declaration, accusing her of making a PR play to garner public sympathy. While Brian wants to settle the divorce amicably, things seem to be pretty icy. He says he's been crashing with friends as often as possible to avoid the toxic environment in their marital home. And actually, when we watched Rachel's interview, the one that I got linked in the description, if you want to watch that, she explained that they still live in the same household. And one of my things was like, yo, like, one of y'all gotta go. You don't want to be in a household with somebody that you're broken up with like that. There's a lot of pain involved. And just seeing that other person, because it hurts for one person more than the other usually. It's never just mutual. One person is feeling a lot more pain than the other person most of the time. So, you know, for me, I'm just like I mentioned in that video, like I was like, anytime I've broken up with somebody, like I'm out of there. Like I don't want to be there at all. So, should we go to the video yet? You know, we're going to say the video. We're actually going to go to another story, and this will give us more detail on exactly what's going on. This is the most up-to-date on what's going on. The video we're going to look at is actually preference from a few years ago, just before the divorce. So, Brian Abasolo is playing dirty in divorce war with Rachel Lindsay. Things have gotten ugly. Now, this is what they're saying. I'm not saying this. My perspective is always different than how the news portrays things. A lot of times, you know, they have a vested interest in one party or the other. More money, more problems. Rachel Lindsay is clapping back at her estranged husband, Brian, as their divorce turns nasty. The podcaster recently alleged that Brian was exaggerating the ex's glamorous lifestyle in his quest for spousal support. Okay, so things have gotten ugly. Now, this is going to kind of bring us a little more in depth of what's going on. So we're actually, what the hell? What kind of app was that? What was that? Sheesh. All right, so did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that loud bang? I don't know what that was. All right, so Rachel, who gave Brian her final rose in 2017. So this has been 7 years to date, basically, when we're getting to this fever pitch. And he's playing dirty is what she's saying. She wants to settle it fair and square. She's saying, hey, I'm giving you $120,000 a year. And it might even be tax-free. Is alimony support tax-free? Or does he have to pay taxes on that? I don't know, actually. I probably could have researched it, but I don't know. But now that I'm thinking about it, because, you know, 120,000, it could really be more like 80 after taxes or whatever, which would be terrible for both of them, actually. Well, somebody always has to pay taxes. She might have to pay taxes on it. I don't know. Maybe she's really giving them 12 after taxes. I have no idea. We'll figure it out, though. Now, Brian is saying he actually looks like he lowered it a little bit. Before, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, because we just seen it on the other website and it was 16, but now he's saying he'll take 15. Brian's saying, hey, look, man, 16's a little high. I'll take 15. I'll take 15, man. I'm good with 15. That's good. So it's crazy. 44 Brian's 44. I know how old Rachel is. Rachel is 39. She was born in 1985 because we did our research on Rachel and we know a little bit about her. Did not know how old Brian was until now. So he's actually 5 years older than Rachel. And he's asking her to provide $15,000 a month for him to be able to survive. And I still want to know how long the spousal support lasts for. If anybody knows how long it lasts for, let us know, because that makes a difference. Did she have to play for 5 years? They were together, they were married for, I think, a little over 4 years. So is it equal to the marriage? So he gets it for 4 years. Is it half of the length of the marriage? 2 years? I'm figuring it's going to be at least 2 years. Okay, now, Brian filed for divorce from his wife in Los Angeles on, makes a big difference. Los Angeles and their divorce laws are really, really strict. And they usually favor the person that makes less money as far as them getting compensation. And we talked about the Gary Owens thing in the last video, where Gary Owens did everything in his power to not get served from California and get served in Ohio, because had he got served in California, he would have lost half. But because he was able to get his divorce done in Ohio, he was actually able to save a lot of money. Now, did we get that? Oh, yeah. So January 2, it was filed, and now here we are 6-7 months later, and they're still going through it. Okay, yeah, 4 years of marriage. So this is Brian's quote. We're gonna read his quote. After 4 years of marriage, Rachel and I have made the difficult decision to part ways and start anew. My parents have been married forever. I am a family man. You got no family though. I mean, not your own. But sometimes loving yourself and your partner means you must let go. Okay. I wanted you to hear it from the source before the blog started making up their own reality. He wrote on Instagram, please respect the spaces of our family and friends as we figure out our next steps. Respectfully, Brian. Listen, Brian, I'm not hearing none of that. You decided to go on the game show that was The Bachelorette. You decided to make your entire relationship public. You decided to flaunt every single step of your process getting married and how your relationship began and everything. So don't all of a sudden, now that things ain't going right and you're getting divorced, ask for privacy. You're not getting it at all. I would respect a couple that has kept their situation private this whole time, but you have not done that. Neither has Rachel. So neither one of you are getting away with this. And honestly, this is helpful to other people to be able to get this information that may, in fact, be going through this situation or put themselves in a situation like this where they can prevent all of the nonsense that is happening between you two. So we're absolutely going to talk about it, and we're not giving you privacy. And it is what it is. That's the choice that you made. Now, Brian cited irreconcilable differences. What the hell does that mean? How can you just put out these vague terms? Can we get a little bit of detail? Like, what exactly happened? As the reason for their split. Now, rumors swirled that the couple had been living separately for quite some time, and this was the reason for their split. However, the chiropractor shut down the speculation in a response to a fan on Instagram who claimed that Rachel, 39, 5 years younger than Brian, put her newfound career before her marriage. We're going to talk about that when we get to this video in just a little bit, which is going to really show a lot of the signs. And we're going to talk about a lot of the signs that we're seeing, because he said that she put her career first, before her family, before her marriage, before him. Now, what's more important, guys, girls, team? Is your career more important than your family? Later on in life, are you really going to care about your career? And is that going to be more important than having people around that truly care about you, and not these people in your career that are using you for financial and monetary gain in the moment, but will not be there for you when you can no longer provide that for them? I don't know. I mean, I have my philosophy on it, but everybody's different. And we've been living together for almost 3 years in LA. Not sure why people think we've been apart this entire time, Brian wrote. Yes, her career came first, but there were opportunities for her that were smart for her to take, which could have not been offered later. The reality star continued. It is hard as it is for women of color to get big gigs, which I've observed through watching Rachel's efforts I did not have anything lined up for me in LA, but we were a team. So I closed up shop, uprooted, and opened a new business in LA. So he's saying he sacrificed for her. And that's why he wants 16K, because he was in Miami and everything was fine. He was doing just fine. But Rachel, them being a couple and him making the sacrifice because she wanted to have her career, when he, I guess, is possibly saying that she could have just stayed in LA and he would have took care of everything, but she wanted to go pursue her career, and he said, fine, I will completely adjust for you, and I'll play the role of, I don't know if you want to call it the woman, I'll play the role of being secondary to you. Because they say a lot of times, like, the man should be the leader, the man should be the one financially responsible, everything, all those different types of things, right? But Brian's saying, that's fine. I don't care. I'm not in competition with you. I'll support you. I'll go out to LA, start anew, and it is what it is. We're going to figure it out. We're going to do this together. Regardless of the fact, we're going to do it together. I'm not trying to be like, I need to make more money than you or anything like that. I just want us to work. That's kind of what he's alluding to right now. Am I wrong? It's not just women who should expect to sacrifice, but a man can do it too. And that's what he's saying he did. Her building her future was not the problem. I would encourage anybody to pursue their dreams and hope that they have a healthy support system to do so. And that's where I was kind of talking about, like, do you want to do everything alone? Do you want to just have your career? Because, like, the truth is when you have your career, those people, you'll see them on the job site, you'll communicate with them, but they are not coming home to you. They're not sleeping in your same bed. They're not going to be there for you when you get sick. They're not going to have your best interest in mind if their best interest is not aligned with it in the same way. So, a lot of times when you think about these relationships that people have and they don't necessarily appreciate them for what they are, and they put these finances and all these different things ahead of it, it's a tough one. It really is, because you need to survive and live and all those different types of things. But I don't know at what point does the money and the career become more important than your family and having children and different things like that. And with that, we're actually going to move on to the video, because in this video, they're going to speak about trying to have a family and also both focus on their careers, Rachel more so than Brian, and how that's going to work out. And this is a very awkward conversation to me. So let's break this down and see exactly what we got as far as this. Sheesh. Where we at? At the 20-minute mark? All right, that's good.
It's not fair. It really isn't.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
We have to make a choice that the other side doesn't. And I mean, if you want children, right? Like, not all women want children, but if you do want children and you want a family, or you have a partner that wants it, you have to at some point make a choice. And there is a fear of, will I lose what I started? Will people want to hire me after that? And of course, there's legal in place where that's not supposed to happen, but let's be honest, it does. And it's like, will people look at me a certain way? Will I have the flexibility that I have before? And it's a really scary thought. And, I'm dealing with that right now.
So she starts out basically to say that she's in a position in life where she doesn't really know if she wants to. Now, at this time, she's 37, all right? So this is 2 years ago when this interview happened. This is before they announced their divorce. This is as they were going through a lot of their issues. And what we're going to understand is this is probably the main reason that Brian filed for divorce. Brian wants to have a family. He wants to have children. And Rachel is like, well, if I have kids, it's going to torpedo my career possibly. I'll be honest though, you're a celebrity, you're a personality. So Rachel, like, I believe that you can monetize your pregnancy to your advantage in your situation. Now, it might not work out for other women in that way, depending on what they do for a job or a career. But for you, I believe you can absolutely leverage you being pregnant to make even more money if you do it the right way.
I'm strategically in my mind trying to plan out when could be the best time. And then you're taking your time doing that. And then you also realize that, hey, it might not be easy as you thought. You know, you can't be like, hey, July 2022, I want to make this happen. And then, you know, it can be a lot more difficult from you. I mean,
that's exactly what you need to do. I got to pause fair use. I don't know, they could possibly like give me a copyright or something, so I have to pause and transform the work. This isn't like a news story or something. So anyways, she basically is saying, well, I don't even know if planning's going to work. Like, even if we plan it, that's not going to work. But that's the whole point of planning. Like, you're going to have to take out 8 to 11 months of your life to make sure that you can move accordingly. But, like, honestly, like, the first 5 months, I mean, you can pretty much do everything as a pregnant woman for the most part. I mean, you might have, like, different, you know, hormones and stuff, but as far as physically, mentally, you should be able to do all that, especially if you got a good support system around you, which Brian is saying that he will be. And, I mean, he uprooted himself from Miami to follow you to LA. And I actually, no, I'm going to save that. I was going to get into a personal thing, but I'll leave it alone.
Very recently, and they've been outspoken about this, Astrid and Kevin, who are very good friends of ours, you know, they had to go through the IVF process to have children, and it didn't happen as naturally or as easily as they thought that it was. It's something that...
Yeah, that's one of the issues too, is like, you know, and I'm just speaking from biology, it's going to be a lot tougher for her. She's never had a kid before, and now she's trying to have a kid at 37 as far as this video is concerned. Now she's basically starting all the way over. She's at 39 with no husband, no relationship, and I don't know if she even wants to have kids. I can't tell. Based off what she's saying, I don't think that's a priority. I don't think she really cares about carrying on her family, her bloodline, as far as herself, to have kids over a career. And I don't know. I think that part of us, and the reason that we're here, is to have kids, like, or else the world just kind of stops. But definitely, you know, your family ends if you don't have kids anymore. Like, there's nothing else at all. Like, so it's kind of strange. And I think Brian, at his age of 44, also not having kids, is like, because usually you hear like the woman's running out of time. But Brian, I mean, you know, they say men can have kids is forever. But at 44, do you really want to just start having kids? Do you want to start having kids at 47, 50? I don't think we're meant to be having kids in our 40s and 50s, guys. I'm just being honest. This is crazy. I mean, I know we're not. Biology tells us we're not. But also, it's a tough one. But let's see how awkward it starts to get.
You know, as you get older as a woman, you think about all the time. And it's just so, back to the first thing I said, it's just so unfair. Because, like, you want it, but then you feel selfish in certain ways because it's like, well, I also want this career, but then I also want to start a family. And I see a lot of women who are able to do.
You can't do both. Not during the exact time. And you really can't even raise your kid when you have a family like that. If you want to have somebody else raise your kid, but you have to take time out to be a mom. You might have to sacrifice 5 years. Now, you could have did that at a different point in your life, but you just kept putting it off, and now kind of feels like but she's reaching a peak in her career now. She's making the most money that she's ever made, which is part of the reason why they're being divorced, and Brian's asking for $16,000 because she's making a lot of money, way more than he is. But yeah, it's just tough. Like, you could have a kid that's 15 years old right now if you would have started at 23, 22, but you chose not to. And that's fine, but you're going to have to take time out to raise your kid if you want your kid to be raised the correct way. That's what I think.
Do both. So I don't want to make it seem like you can't have both. It's just taking that step and actually making it happen. And there really is, and what I've also learned is talking to a lot of working moms, is there is no right time. Stop trying to plan the perfect time.
You see his facial expression? Let me just go back. He's getting irritated with her, always talking about time. His sentiment is just like, let's just do it. Like, what is all this planning, all this time and all this stuff? It just seems like a deflection from just wanting to do it. Like, just be honest with me. Tell me you don't want kids and let me move on, or let's just get this done. Because we don't have a lot of time. And you might not even be able to have kids at this point. We don't even know. Like, we've been using protection the entire time we've been together.
Of working moms.
Look at his face.
If there is no right time, stop trying to plan the perfect time.
Look at his face. I'm gonna run it back one more time.
If there is no right time, stop trying to plan the perfect time.
Irritated.
You just have to, do it. Take those steps to do it.
Are you taking that advice? Okay,
so now we got Brian about to talk. Finally.
Already taking steps. That's all I'm going to say.
The proper steps. I agree with her. It's
So they were taking steps to try to have a baby is what she's saying. Okay.
It's not easy. There's never a right time, but I think the word that should be used is adapting, right? It's like one of my favorite books is Who Moved My Cheese? Or I think it was
great choice.
Yeah, it's like in life, things change. You got to adapt. And like she said, I think there's evidence out there of women successful like her that have done it as well. And, that also ties in on me because I'm going to obviously have to step up my role, right? Regardless of what I got doing, because I got my own career as well. And
just awkward movements and stuff between these two. They don't get along, or at worst, they don't have the same philosophies and the same things that they want from one another. I mean, just look at it. Like, when they're both talking, you can just sense the irritation from both of them. They're trying to cover it up, but it's just not working. If you look at the context clues, you can see it. Just watch the look how she's looking. She doesn't even look at him with joy and glee. She doesn't have a warm, open feeling. It's more like a business. It's more like, all right, whatever, I'm here. She's not following his lead. He's definitely not agreeing with anything that she's talking about. He's saying, let's just do it. Like, plenty of successful women have had kids. What's your problem? Why can't you do it? You got me right here. I'm telling you I'm going to support you. I'm telling you I got this chiropractor business. We'll make it work. Let's just figure it out. Just figure it out. We don't need to do all this extra stuff you're talking about. You're making a simple situation complicated. Get pregnant, have the baby. We'll do what we need to do from there.
That also ties in on me because I'm going to obviously have to step up my role, right? Regardless of what I got doing, because I got my own career as well.
Yeah, you need to step up.
I'm going to have to step up and help her, pick up the slack. And that's why.
You ready for that?
Yeah. At the same time, it's like, even if I'm not ready, I just gotta be ready. You know what I mean? Like I'll be ready when it happens. Like,
that pissed her off right there, because she's over here just saying, I need to be ready. We need to be ready. We need to plan. We need to do it all this. And he's just like, I don't even care. Even if we're not ready, let's just do this. We will figure it out. Just throw us out there and let's just do it. Look, she was ready to go in on his ass, but they're actually trying to play it off. They know the relationship is in shambles right now and it's on the way out. But they're doing their best to hide it in plain sight. Watch.
Ready for that?
Yeah. At the same time, it's like, even if I'm not ready, I just gotta be ready. You know what I mean? Like I'll be ready when it happens. She did not
like that.
That's the attitude.
I'm running back one more time. Even if I'm not ready, we're just gonna be ready. Hell no. She wanted to go in, but she chilled. Look, it's right there.
At the same time, it's like, even if I'm not ready, I just gotta be ready. You know what I mean? Like I'll be ready when it happens. Like that's the attitude you got to have.
But let me tell you.
Like,
oh, I'm sorry. I thought you finished.
Awkward. She barely wanted to let him get in the word edgewise. Hold on. We're going to run this part back. This is important. These are some of the things you got to look for.
I just got to be ready. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be ready when it happens. Like, that's the attitude you got to have.
But let me tell you. oh, I'm sorry. I thought you finished.
No, it is what it is. Like, you just, like, I don't think anybody's ever ready for it. They just do it, and baby after baby, maybe it gets easier. But yeah, we're gonna be.
How many babies after babies are we having?
Well, it was four. It was four, but we.
Baby after baby. All the signs are right here in this small portion right here that you need to know.
Same time, it's like even if I'm not ready, I just gotta be ready. You know what I mean? Like I'll be ready when it happens. Like that's the attitude you gotta have.
But let me tell you. oh, I'm sorry. I thought you finished.
Let me tell you. Oh, sure. I'll let you finish. Ready to cut him off. Don't want to let him get out his thoughts. He's already super nervous speaking about this. And I think a lot of it is just because they got this mediator up there. And he feels a little more like, all right, I got some people that, I got some witnesses to this to try to see her mindset as far as having kids. And now I can probably get some words out because I don't think she even lets him speak. Possibly. It kind of seems that way. Because she's going to fight back on everything he just said immediately.
No, it is what it is. Like you just, I don't think anybody's ever ready for it. They just do it, and baby after baby, maybe it gets easier. But yeah, we're gonna be.
How many babies after babies are we having?
Well, it was four. It was four, but we gotta cut back now. Okay?
Like, share, comment, subscribe.
I always told her, I was like, let's have.
Hey, they should name their babies, all four of them. Like, share, comment, subscribe. The big four. This is funny.
We gotta cut back now, okay? I'm 37.
See, I always told her, I was like, let's have two and then let's see where you're at. She's already turning.
37. But I'm telling y'all, if y'all don't think I'm gonna be one of the people who I'm gonna be like, give me one of those things where you just slap that baby on the back. I'm gonna be doing interviews with that baby sitting on the back or on the front. I'm gonna be moving because it's like
to be working out, doing school.
She don't even want to raise her kids. She doesn't want kids. She doesn't truly want. She doesn't have a craving and an urge. Her biology is probably telling her, yo, we're running out of time. You need to have kids. She's talking about IVF earlier, basically where, you have the doctors help you get through your pregnancy, and they kind of, I don't know exactly how it works. I just know that it's assisted pregnancy, basically. Insemination type situation where they freeze your eggs and all that. I don't really know how all that stuff works. I know just the basics of it. But she's saying, I'm going to have my baby strapped on my back while I'm doing interviews. And it's irritating him because he's like, I want you to just be at home and be a mom. I don't want you parading our baby all through the streets, all in the interview studios and all those different types of things. Like, can you just be a mother for 5 years until the baby gets into maybe kindergarten, and then you can kind of get back out there, but we need you through those. You're going to need to breastfeed. She probably doesn't want to do that. So it's a lot of things, right, where these two just do not see eye to eye. And Rachel is a career woman. She's independent. Like I said, we did a whole 2-hour stream where we listened to her and her story, and I haven't gotten to a lot of stuff that she said, but she's always been the breadwinner in all of her relationships. That's what she said. And she just, that's who she is, career-driven, and that's the most important thing to her, and it has been. She did try to get married and have a relationship and got with him, and she's failed in all her other relationships, as far as she said, and now she's going to be supporting this man instead of her own kids. She could have at least been paying child support, but now she's paying a 44-year-old man at least $10K every month for however long that lasts.
Watch the baby in the back.
Yeah, our parents did it. My mom worked, Brian, your mom worked, Mike, I'm sure your mom worked too. They did it. They made it happen. So it's I know I can. It's just a matter of just taking the steps to do it. It's scary. It's scary when you get in that place. And yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't seem scary to me. That's to me though. And I have children, so I'm not speaking from not understanding, right? Like I've been in my children's lives their entire time. Kid just texted me right now. I'm going to see my youngest. I'm not going to get into everything. I'm just saying I've been active in their lives, had no issues as far as parental issues or anything like that. But yeah, it's you have to adjust. Just like Brian said, I mean, you got to make adjustments. And a lot of things you can't predict. You just have to be able to work through situations and just adapt. It is what it is. Like, that's part of it. You're bringing a whole new life that you're responsible into the world that you're going to have to take care of for 18 years at least, and sometimes it's longer than that. And, so it's tough, team. Like, I think a lot of it, is kind of breaking down to, they're done. So now we're talking about all these finances and different things like that. But I think the underlying problem is deeper than all of that. And, and we're going through this a lot in modern times in relationships. And without me completely moving away from these two, you even see it when people try to get into relationships. These two actually ended up, both of them, not having kids at that age. Is kind of, because a lot of times you get into relationships later in life, one or the other or both have children already. So then they don't even have biological children together. Like, you start dating in your 30s, 40s, and you get with somebody, they already have children from a previous relationship, and now you're trying to blend a family together. But now you have kids that are not even biologically yours, and you're trying to figure out how this is going to work, and it's very difficult. And, that's just kind of where we're at. It's tough. Let's go on the undirected perspective. We're going to go light for this one. What do I got, team? It kind of comes down to who do you think is wrong or right in this situation. The evidence that we've collected, I'm not really going to put it on either one of them. I think they fundamentally just want two different things. As far as the support that Brian is asking for, I'm not even gonna take it from because a lot of people are gonna say, well, the man, the women understand. They should understand what it's like now, because the men always are the ones getting screwed. I don't know. I think in a situation where there's no kids involved, if these two were never married, it wouldn't even be an issue. They just go their separate ways. Brian has definitely benefited from their marriage. Rachel has definitely benefited from their marriage. It's gave them looks and different eyes that they would not have got under any other circumstance. So for me, I'm just thinking, like, I feel like he's being petty, but I also feel like there's a lot of things that aren't being discussed, and I think we know that. I don't want to throw out allegations of cheating, different things like that. Like I said, I like Rachel. I have no idea what she's got going on. We have not seen that. She has not said that he's cheated on her, so as far as we know, that's not the issue. It really could just be that she put her career first. Like, he's over here like, yo, like, I married you because I wanted to have children with you. If that's the case, we never needed to get married. Now you don't want to give me a family, so because of that, you done wasted 4 years of my life, and now, since your career means so much and money means so much, you're going to pay me. And I'm going to go get someone else pregnant and go have what we were supposed to have, or what I thought we were going to have, and I wonder how Rachel's going to feel about that. Do you think Rachel's going to care if 2 years from now, Brian has a set of twins that he's raising and he's collecting $16,000 a month from her, and she's still out here with just a career and no family and a very, very difficult chance of having her own children? I don't know, y'all. It's a really tough one for me, and I don't really have the answers for this because it's really just I mean, there's a lot of movement. There's no right answer to this. It's not math. It's not 5 plus 5 equals 5. What I say, just say. It's not 5 plus 5 equals 10. It's not that. This should be simple, but it's very complicated. And yeah, so as far as the support, I don't know. Rachel offered to give him $10K for a reason. So he's going to get at least that. I guess she can afford it. That's all I got for this team. I don't know. Y'all probably have a lot of opinions and different things that I may not have seen or really understood as far as all this, but I put all the information out there, all condensed into a 40-minute video. So, we got that now, and I'd just like to hear what y'all got to say. Let's have a conversation, and I will engage with the chat if there are comments on this. And that's pretty much it. I appreciate y'all, team. Like I said, y'all are the best audience on YouTube, and we're going to continue to grow and get bigger, and it'll be really good. So we'll probably follow up on this again after everything is settled, and just see what we got. See how everything all plays out, and then maybe even after that, we'll see how both of their lives turn out. Maybe 2 to 5 years from now. It'll be interesting to see. All of this is good for us to learn and get better from, or just have an idea of how things can and will go. So that's all I got. All right, team.